Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Fabulous Fatima, back again with another video. Today we are going to be doing a video on something a little serious, close to my heart, dealing with my family, and I just want to let you guys know what's going on. So if it's something you want to see, stick around. Okay guys, so welcome. I know I have been gone for a minute from this channel, but it's good reasons why your girl have been gone. And the reason is family issues. It's not really issues, it's like stuff that's been going on with my family. Mainly my sister, Tamika. If you guys haven't seen me if you haven't watched one of my videos, she's my older sister and she is disabled. She's in a wheelchair, she has spina bifida. I have a video where I was doing her hair. Sometimes y'all see her in and out when I do mukbangs or something. She was in my mukbang as well. I've been dealing with her my entire life. She's my older sister. She's a year and a month older than me. So I am the baby of the family. I have an older brother and 3 older sisters actually. So I am the baby of the family. But I've been in and out the hospital with her since September 30th of this year. So I think that's around the time I've been slowing down with being on YouTube. It might be 2 parts to this video. I don't know, but depending on how long I start blah, 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 blah. So like I said, I've been in and out of the hospital with her since September 30th. From anywhere from infections. She has ulcers on her backside from when I got custody of her. She had them. She's been going to the wound doctor and stuff like that. If you're in the nurses field, you already know an ulcer is when you have an open wound in your skin. Anywhere on your body can be an ulcer, but she has it on her backside, sacral ulcers. So she had got an infection in the ulcer. They took care of that. I bring her home from the hospital. A day later, I had to take her back to the hospital because when she got discharged and I picked her up, her bowel movements was normal. And then a couple of days went by and they turned black. Now, if you don't know about black stool, it's a sign that you're either bleeding internally or something else. Now, in her case, I took her back there because that's what I thought. She was bleeding internally. They tested her stool, no blood in her stool. And I thought about it when she was in the hospital. They gave her liquid iron. And if you don't know, iron does, if you're anemic, like I'm anemic, I take iron pills because I have an iron deficiency. So it turns your stool black, but if it continues to go on and it's like a different texture or whatever, if this is TMI for you guys, click off. But this is me, I'm real. So I took her back from there. Fast forward, they kept her in the hospital probably for like a few days, like almost a week, to monitor her, make sure she wasn't bleeding internally and nothing else. They said nothing came back. Her CAT scan on her brain showed no leaking, no blood, no nothing. Then she came home probably like a day later, a couple of days later. She's always complained about headaches off and on. Now for that, she has a VP shunt in her head. If you guys don't know what that is, I'll either leave it down below or put the word across the screen and you can Google it. So that's why she had to go, took her back to the hospital as well. They ran the brain scan, CAT scan on her to make sure there was no bleeding or anything like that. So brought her home 2 days later, maybe a week later or something like that. 2 to 3 days later, she wake up and she had a stiff neck to the point where she couldn't hold her head down. It was always in this upright prone position, like looking up like that. And that had to be the most uncomfortable thing in the world for her. And whenever she tried to hold her head down, she would pass out. So that scared me. Like, and then she gets, I thought it felt like a seizure. My sister's not known for having seizures, but it could have been a partial seizure from what they're saying. And then I took her back to the ER. They said she had a stiff neck. They prescribed Flexerol. If you don't know what Flexerol is supposed to be the strongest muscle relaxer, but it worked for her that one time that she took it, and after that it didn't work for her. So I took her back to the hospital, but this time we went to Downstate, which is in Brooklyn. If you live in Brooklyn, you know Downstate Hospital. She was born in that hospital. She had all her surgeries in that hospital. Now, my sister had 31 operations alone on her head. And then she had majority of other surgeries throughout her body as she grew up, from young to the adult age she is now. My sister's only 4'11", so she is a short person. And I'm 5'1", so we're not that far apart. But she is shorter than I am. So she's been going through surgeries her whole entire life. So I can't imagine like what she's going through on the surgery spectrum, because I've only had one surgery in my whole entire life, and that was hernia surgery. But and if it's anywhere like hernia surgery, Lord of mercy, she's strong. So I took her there. They say they don't know what's going on. They're running tests. We're in the emergency room. She can't hold her head down. She's complaining, making fuss after fuss after fuss until somebody's doing something. Then she was able to like relax, but it's like she passed out, and that was it. And I told her I was gonna leave because it was late, like almost 3 a.m, and they're like, okay, we're gonna transfer you upstairs because we're keeping you. We're gonna actually transfer you over to Kings County Hospital, which is directly across the street from Downstate, because they had a neurosurgery team there that would want to monitor her in the ICU and make sure see what's going on. And when I told her that I was leaving, all of a sudden she just did that and she fell back, scaring me. I ran to the nurse's station because the thing started saying VTAB. Listen, sinus VTAB, that's somebody not breathing. So the whole team, everybody run over, and they checked to try to get her to respond. She wasn't responding as well or fast as she normally does, but after like probably 5-10 seconds after them doing whatever they did to her to get her to respond, she came back. She was tired. She was just drained. So I don't know if it was a seizure. I don't know if her heart stopped. Listen, to this day, I don't know what happened, but she is still in the hospital. Fast forward. I picked her up. She got discharged from the hospital November 2nd. A day later, my sister is back in the ER at Kings County Hospital for the same thing, a stiff neck. Her neck went back into that position again. Like this is your head. Like your chin is supposed to be straight. Like when you're talking the way I am, her head stood up like that. So back in the ER again. They run all the tests that they running. They letting me know they're checking her brain, doing everything. They're gonna monitor her again overnight. Fast forward, blah, 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 whatever. I pick her up. Well, I pick her up on the 7th, and I pick her up. She's home. Took her back. She got admitted again. They ran. Now, anytime that you get admitted to the hospital, you have to get a covert test. Corona test, covert test, COVID-19 test. Every time they came back negative. This one time that she gets out the hospital on the 2nd, one day home, she gets tested the following night before she goes up to the floor. And it came back positive, which is bugging me the F out. Because you were only home one day. You went from the hospital into the transportation ambulance into the house. So I don't know, guys. Maybe leave a comment down below if it's not sounding crazy to you. And when they told us that, which they didn't tell us right away, I called up there and somebody let it slip out, and they was like, "Oh, we thought you knew." What? You thought we knew? We don't know nothing if you don't tell. Like, what the fuck? Sorry guys, but damn. And then I'm like, okay. The 4th is when we found out that she had tested positive. When they told me that, I think the following day, no, the same day, on the 4th, the same day, the whole entire family went and got tested. Now, we got our results back recently. Matter of fact, it wasn't the 4th, the 5th, the next day. We waited till the next day to go get tested because it was already too late, and I knew it was crowded. So we went and got tested on the 5th. We got our results back the following day because they have this My Chart. If you sign up for My Charts, your results come back. Because they say it takes 24 to 48 hours, which it doesn't. It doesn't. But it came back, and just so you guys can see, that's my name at the top. That's that. The test. And it says not detected. And this is the date on there, if you can see, when we got it done. Now, I was the first one to get my results back, but everybody in my house tested negative. We didn't test for the antibodies. None of that came back. If you had a high index, you probably like had it in you, but we didn't have any of that from what they were saying. So we tested negative. So we're in quarantine right now for 14 days. Tomorrow is Saturday, which makes 10 days that this go on. Now, I know I run my business and everything like that, so I was extra cautious on everything that I did. Let me tell you, like, we had disinfectant wipes. Now I'm gonna show you guys something that when I go more into the video. Disinfectant wipes, hand sanitizers, disinfectant spray, gloves. I have like 3 stacks of masks, right? So anyway, that threw me for a loop when they said that she tested positive. So I was like, okay, so they treating her for that in the hospital as well as the neck spasm or pain or whatever she's having. Come to find out, she had a mild case of pneumonia, which I know your girl got a lawsuit because all the tests that these hospitals, when I took her to the other hospital, ran and nobody found pneumonia. And I'm like, thank God it was a mild case. They caught it. They were able to treat it. She responded very well to it. But being in the hospital, the symptoms of corona they give you is coughing, fever, and all that. She wasn't showing no signs of fever. Why? Because she was on antibiotics already for a different infection that she had, which they said she had a bladder infection. Oh yeah, guys, she had a bladder infection. So they gave her when she got discharged on the 2nd, that's all they told me was, oh, she was like that because she had a bladder infection. So days went by and she didn't. When she was in the hospital, she didn't have the stiff neck. I guess it loosened up or whatever have you. They just sent me home with her antibiotics for her bladder, muscle relaxers for her neck. But they said the test came back. They said the test was negative when I first brought her home from the hospital. All of a sudden, she went back. They tested positive. Now here it is. She's still in the hospital. She's in MICU. That's the medical ICU department. So they monitor her. They monitor her there. But the neurosurgeon team is keeping a close eye on her. Why? Because come to find out, like I said, she has the VP shunt. She had fluid on her brain. Hence why she kept getting the headache she would always tell me about. And I would give her Tylenol. Okay, you have a headache. Take a Tylenol, sleep it off. She get up and she said it's gone. The next day, the headache is back. She had what you call it? fluid on her brain. Guys, I'm going to stop the video right here, and I'm going to continue with part 2.